What's up, Gunner and Goonettes? It's your boy Chunky Kinks here today with another review. Today, I'm reviewing Fresh Woman Season 1, the adult visual novels that turned heads a couple years back. Season 2 is currently being worked on right now and should be fully released, I believe, in Q2 of 2025, if I'm correct, the creator said. The creator of the game is a guy, AVN, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, how you say his name. Uh, he has a website dedicated to it, but right when this game popped off, I did play this game a couple years ago, but I replayed it recently to do this review. And let's see, does it live up to the hype of one of the best AVNs around? One of the most popular AVNs around? Let's find out. First, let's talk about the storyline, of course, as we always start with. Fresh Woman Season 1 introduces players of a variety of characters, of course, each with different unique personalities, backgrounds, their drama, romances, everything about their lives is completely different, of course. The premise revolves around a man, which is you, that got into an accident a couple years back where you were struck by lightning and you forgot all of your memories and you are trying to find your estranged dad that has left you and your family. Your mom is not really in the story at all. You are going off to college and you're trying to piece this little mystery together while getting into some mischievous activities with the ladies. You know what I'm saying? But the story has a good premise that it revolves around with relationship, emotional connections, and a healthy mix of drama, romance, and the mystery, of course. What stands out to the game's attempt to weave and develop the characters' lives while also maintaining the adult themes. So they try to give a more depth to each character while also trying to give you that experience of an adult visual novel. And that's some effort to give to the characters and their backstories and their motivations. They feel a bit more layered than what you'd expect from a game of this genre. The pacing sometimes does feel a little slow in the story, so if you're more interested in the adult content side of the story, it may feel a little slower to you. This is more of a story based, it feels like, and more wrapped around the fact that it wants to tell the story and make you feel the story, if that makes sense. It's a very engaging story and a very deeper story. Like I said, you're a guy who basically just forgot his memory, and so you have to piece together your past and everything that revolves around it. So if you're into a deeper, nice, more layered depth story, this is a perfect game for you if you're into that type. Now let's move on to another positive here. Let's talk about the visuals. The artwork is undeniably strong to the point where the characters' designs are polished, attention to detail in both the backgrounds and the animated scenes. There's a great amount of expression conveyed through the artwork, which helps enhance the emotional weight of the narrative as well. The adult scenes, the quality is very well on par for what you would expect for a well-produced novel of this caliber. It does seem in the game that as you go further and further through the game that the animation is more in depth and gets better as the story progresses, which I've never really seen before. Usually it's fairly consistent all the way through visual novels where what you get in the first sex scene will also be kind of what you get in the last sex scene. But then this game, it felt like the first explicit encounter that you get into was less produced than the last encounter that you get to go into. So it felt like throughout the whole story, the more mature themes and the things that gone on in the sexual scenes got enhanced throughout the story, which is very interesting to see. I don't know if in the beginning they were a little shy at developing it, but then near the end, it is some great work, great amazing visuals. The animation is very well done for every scene also. So that's a plus in my book. Starting from the beginning, go all the way through, very well done. When it comes to the gameplay, of course, it's a standard visual novel format where you click, you make choices throughout the whole story. Your decisions influence the relationship and the world around you. Simple mechanic, of course, but the choices do feel impactful and it's critical for engagement. Sometimes the choices do feel a little too straightforward or lack a little depth, but for the most part, it really doesn't. But if you're looking for a game with a pretty linear experience where your choices matter for the mostly of the character development, this should be perfect for that gameplay and that interaction throughout the whole story. Now, when it comes to the scenes themselves, it doesn't shy away from its mature themes, obviously. The game leans heavily into the romantic side and also the sexual content side. It's worth noting that these scenes are integrated into the narrative as well, and the game tries to balance them with some degree of the character storytelling. So there's always a reason, mostly, for why you are sleeping with this or that person. It's developed through the storytelling, and each of them are kind of like a key interaction, if that makes sense. So if you're more into, like I said before, the sexual themes that are woven into the story, and you're not just having sex for sex sake, like, oh, look, a woman, me, you, sex. Like, that's not this game. This game, every character that you come across, usually there's a reason that you sleep with them, which is very refreshing almost, if that makes sense, and very well thought out, and they all work very well together. Lastly, I want to get the music and the sound design. The sound design is great. The voice acting in this game is phenomenal. AVN Games, I reviewed one earlier on this channel called Forbidden Fantasy, had great voice acting as well. Usually adult visual novels, they don't really have voice acting. It's kind of more of a budget thing, like more lowbrow, like they don't really have voice actors, but the voice acting in this game, absolutely phenomenal. Each character feels as if they have their own distinct voice. Obviously the main protagonist does not have a voice actor because that is you, and they want to put you in that role, and that is your voice. But voice acting during the storytelling, during even some of the sexual scenes, is absolutely fantastic. The moans and the groans right in your ear if you're wearing headphones, perfect. So, and then the little background music sometimes very well. The ambiance that it's set sometimes when it's a darker moment or where a happy moment is very well set as well. The sound design perfectly encapsulates with the story and also with the animation and how everything looks so perfectly as well. Sound design, animation, everything, art style is absolutely beautiful in this game. So basically, to wrap up, Fresh Women Season 1, strong experience for those who enjoy character-driven novels. Artwork is gorgeous, story a bit slow sometimes, but offers an enough emotional depth to keep you engaged in the choices. While most of them are impacting the story, some of them are a little limited. They do impact the relationships on the game. So out of 10, I rate Season 1 Fresh Women, I'll give it a solid 8.0. With Fresh Women Season 2 coming out soon, I will also be reviewing that when it's fully released, either on Steam or like oppyman.com. I will review it then. But for now, Gooners and Goonettes, have a good one. This has been your boy, Chunky Kinks.